Hey, welcome everybody to episode 4 of the No BS Bullshit podcast with myself, David Hoffer, Magic Mike, and Mr. Paul Clark. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Layla Hinchen. I'm going to let Paul do the introduction because he knows all about her, but then she'll hop on and introduce herself. And we're just going to discuss a topic that's, been on our minds for a little bit. And this is all the conferences and events that go on and how we feel about them. So welcome everybody to the podcast and welcome to my good friends and our special guest. Paul, you can take it from here.
So Layla, you are our very first guest.
Thank you very much. Honoured.
So when we go viral, you've got that badge of honor. Okay.
Royalty.
So I'm going to let you introduce yourself in a second, but I just want to tell the viewers why I asked you on. So today's topic is all about events. Okay, industry events, SMP events, PMU events. Right, everything what's kind of related to events in our industry. And I really wanted Layla on board for this one. I can't think of anybody better than Layla because she's got extensive history and expertise of being a judge at these conferences, setting conferences up. So I can't think of anybody better than Layla. And also she's a badass. So she's willing to say what's wrong with the industry and what can be fixed. So Layla, I'm going to hand it over to you. Would you just give us a brief introduction of yourself, and then we'll get into it.
Put on the boxing gloves.
So yeah, as Paul said, I am known for speaking my mind. So I'm great at pissing people off in the industry. So I was in the beauty industry before I got into tattooing. So that about 20 years ago. I've been tattooing for around 11 years now. I'm still an artist. I teach. I set up the PMU Circle, which is an online platform to try and raise standards in education for the industry. And yeah, just obsessed with all things PMU. So as Paul said, I've entered awards and competitions myself. I've then been on the other end, judging and also organising. So hopefully I can chip in a bit today.
Nice.
I'm sure you've got loads of input and value to add to this podcast. So events is a really hot topic at the moment, and we're not going to single out any events. It's like a collective of what we found is not quite right with the events, and almost like how it's structured these days. And events is a big one because there's been a lot of events recently, and I've been attending, and we've all attended some of recent events, and some of them we found that there's been a little bit of dodginess about them. So, I think it's only fair that we go around the podcast and go, right, what do you feel like is wrong with the events? Where are they going wrong? And then we always come up with the solution. So let's dig deep with our fangs and claws and tear it to shreds, and then we can just paper mache it all back together at the end.
Can I say something super quick? My first kind of comment is what's the true purpose of events?
How beneficial is it?
Why are people putting these on? Is it for the benefit of new artists getting into the industry? Is it for promoting products? Is it for promoting a specific host? And it's a general question. What are the purpose of these things? I mean, we all know, we've been to quite a few of them. The networking is awesome. It's the social of meeting people that we've never met before, maybe that we follow online, and we admire and we want to talk to them. That's what I found is the most fun, but we can do that ourselves. So what is the true purpose of these events? And Layla, if you know, please give us some input. I've never been a judge, so.
I think with the actual conference itself, obviously education, getting to learn in person from lots of different trainers, artists. The one thing that I struggle with, I did struggle to try and understand until I started putting on my own event. Then I realised the costs that are involved with running an event, is for me, I feel like these conferences would be most beneficial to newer artists. but the price that comes with them puts them out of reach to most new artists. So what we find is it's all this education, but it's all people that have been in the industry for years that don't really need it. They don't really pay much attention, and they're just there to network anyway. So it's like the people that it's really meant for can't normally afford to go.
Wow.
It's a high school reunion, as I call it.
Yeah, exactly. We all just go for a piss up, really, don't we?
but then you're saying for new artists. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you were fine.
I was going to say, so if new artists, if it's beneficial for new artists, they're there to learn from veteran artists, and to get veteran artists to show up, it should be, a privilege for them. Oh, wow, here's somebody who I've been following for a long time. He's been very successful in the industry. I want to hear what this person has to say. So, but in order to get those people to show up, that's where it gets kind of tricky, because, those people to show up, they feel like, okay, well, I have some value. I'm going to be teaching some things. I should be kind of compensated to come to these. Yet it's the opposite. We have to pay to go to these events, which it costs quite a bit of money. We have no problem going, but we're closing down our shops for a couple of days. We're leaving our hometowns for a couple of days. We're spending money on hotel and travel. So it seems kind of backwards that we have to pay to go to an event where we are the event itself. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, and I think this has changed over the years, because years ago, you would have been paid to go as a speaker. You would have been paid to judge, because even judging is, again, it's a day out, it's time. But now it's been reversed, where you should look at it as marketing and getting potential students in return for your time and your expertise. So I think it's a really difficult one, because putting on an event costs a lot of money, and you don't always even break even just on ticket sales. But then I agree that if you're bringing someone in to share their knowledge, they should be compensated for it.
Layla, have you attended any Scalp Micro Pigmentation conferences?
Not sole SMP ones. A lot of the PMU ones now have SMP included, but I did train in Scalp many years ago with Paul, actually. But yeah, it wasn't my strong point, and I didn't stick at it, if I'm honest.
So I ask, like, if you can compare the PMU versus Scalp Micro Pigmentation conferences. Right. How many days are the PMU conferences? Is it 3-4 days?
Usually 2.
2 days. Okay.
I just want to add on. I just wanted to add on what Dave said, because I feel like this is the frustration with events. And when events started happening in the SMP world, my flight was paid for, my hotel was paid for, and my and basically all expenses were paid for. And
your awards were paid for too.
Hey,
your awards were paid for too.
Who knows, mate? Who knows what happens behind the background? But I noticed that used to be an ongoing theme, and now where we've got to with conferences is like what Dave mentioned. So we expected to lose business by shutting down the business. We are then expected to pay for a ticket to be at the event. Even if you're a speaker, you're expected to pay for a ticket as well. And then you've got to share your education as well for free.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and I feel like events these days, and my opinion is that events now can get away with this because they're selling content, potential content to that person, going, right, well, you have to pay, but think of all the content you're going to get and all the eyes. And actually, it does not weigh up. It really does not weigh up. You can spend anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, and some people spend 10 grand going to conferences in New York to be on the stage. And it's like, is it worth that amount of money? And then also what you said, Layla, is that the people who are attending these conferences, and not just one SMP conferences, but many conferences, it's people who are all just there to like have a few drinks and have a few beverages. There's no real new people there. So then you're kind of just preaching to the choir. And then it's like, and then we've noticed a pattern is that a lot of these conferences is an autobiography. Like, I'm not being cruel, but when I go to a conference, I'm not here to listen to your autobiography unless you've had significant, substantial on an industry or you pioneered something. I'm going to be all ears, or a technique. You got me. But when it's just your autobiography,
Of course, when you heard it 5 times already, right? But if you heard it the first time, it's different. But if you heard it 5 times,
And the
But
thing,
what-
you're an attendee at that conference, you've paid a lot of money for value. You
Yeah.
need to be walking away with key takeaways and new techniques, and you need I feel like some people will come on stage and it's like they'll give you a tiny little bit, but they don't want to give you everything, probably because it's cost them a fortune to be there. And then the attendee don't really get much from it either. Like and the same with like awards. What really aggs me is you can enter the award, but if you want to be up for winning, you have to buy a ticket to go to that gala dinner. You should win regardless of whether you're there or not. If you've been, it comes down to money again, doesn't it? It's everything's about money.
So then, I've never been a judge, Layla. You said you've been a judge. Paul introduced you as being a judge to some of these events. As a judge, is it completely unbiased at some of these, or is it, here's the people, you know who they are. Sometimes it's friends voting for their other friends. Hey, do me a favor, vote for me. I really could use this award. And then they post it on their socials, and now they look like an award-winning artist. Does it really mean anything?
A bullshit?
also depending on the event too, who's hosting it.
I don't think a lot of awards mean anything anymore. And I think this is probably what triggered Paul to ask me to come on. Is I done a reel on Instagram to publicly say I'm out. I'm not judging anymore unless it truly aligns with my values, and I truly believe that it's a fair competition, because I don't want to be a part of fixed results or favoritism or who trained with you or who's in your little circle or. No, I don't think a lot of them are fair anymore. I did judge one last year, which was incredible. Browista, they was part of Eyebrow Festival, and it was multiple judges per category. It was all transparent. All of our scores and our comments was open for everybody to see. That was one of my favourite, but generally, no, they're not fair at all, in my opinion.
One of the best conferences I've attended to, where I was asked to be a judge, and I was asked to be a judge twice. And the first year, it was, you know this one, because I remember you dancing on the table.
Uh-oh, calling her out.
Why I could barely walk in a straight line. I was trying to get up on that same table, but I couldn't lift my leg on the chair. But it was the MP UK, and is her name Sonia?
Sonia.
Yeah, God rest her soul. The first time I judged, there was loads of flaws in there, but I could be forgiven of that because it was kind of new to her SMP. And then after that year, I said, I've got so many ideas. You got to take branding out. You got to make sure it's healed. You got to make sure that there's no names attached to it. And you've got to have multiple judges scoring on the system. And we can't know who judges who, and we don't know the other judges. And that was probably one of the fairest competitions I've ever been connected to, because it was like, it wasn't just my say. It had to go through 5 other individuals who ranked, and I had to do like essays. Why did I rank this person on this score, on this hairline? Why did I rank them on blending, density? I gave all these subcategories. I kind of shot myself in the foot because I created more work for myself. But it was brilliant. And then that feedback went back to the people who got involved as well. Now, I told Layla this. I attended a conference recently, and I felt like it wasn't my place. It was so superficial. It was so all for the gram. It was almost felt like it was made by Instagram. There was just all Instagram, just doing it for the gram. And there was an SMP category, and, you know, I'm just going to be honest. The judge clearly voted for his best mate. Right? They're both part of an alliance and partnerships, and they're good mates in the industry. They both know they were going to be at the event. They're really close mates. And it was just so transparent. And I was just like, oh my God. And the thing was, they were standing next to each other in the queue, because one of them had to give out an award. And you could see them talking, and the certificates right in front of them. So I was like,
he was like, act surprised. Act surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, I could call it from the first step I got in there. And one of the recent events what we went to, I called a lot of the winners as well, just by, you know, that person's part of that brand, and that people work with that person, or that person's got clinic with 7 individuals. They've got WhatsApp groups saying, I've submitted, look out for my work and vote for it, you know. And that's not how it should be, because then you can manipulate it. It should go through a filtering process where you can't manipulate the thing. So I kind of had like Layla's feel about it when you really like, I was like, yeah, man, let's go fight the power. Like, as you know, I was like, you know what? I kind of really resonate with that. I feel like I want to kind of maybe take a break from these events and just go, maybe I have to wait till they are more ethical.
Yeah. And it's sad, isn't it, that it's become like that?
Do you think
it's way of marketing yourself strategy, right? To market yourself, probably just go out event, host, and it's yours, and you get a lot of videographers, photographers to promote you, and then you bring you guys like yourselves to these events for more people to watch it and follow it. So I think it's for promoting more than learning from it.
Do you guys think? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, then you've got all these online competitions now as well. So literally everybody now has a title of award winning because of the amount of online competitions where I don't even think it's PMU artists even judging the PMU work. Like, it's like, who even has called this? It's crazy. But yeah, I feel like it ruins the title of having that status, like to say you're an award winning artist.
Do you guys think you think it's always been this way? And now that we've been in it for a long time, we can kind of see the writing on the wall. I mean, I've never won an award. I've been in this industry for 12 years now. I've never won an award. And I remember going to a conference years ago, and I was like, I know who's going to win. And I felt this way a long time ago. And so it's not really changed. We just see, oh, wow, now we're not winning the awards because it's whoever's new and popular is winning the awards. I've seen it.
And when I started entering awards, and some of them, I'd sit there and think, are you joking? Like, my work is way better than that, and I'm not big-headed, and I am not a sore loser. But what the hell? And then even some awards that I won, when you start seeing it, I think, and then I won awards, and then I think, yeah, but I'm your student, and actually I think her work's better than mine. I don't think I should have won that one. Do you know, like, you start seeing it.
I feel like when
you a little extra to the charity, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like when you can predict the winners, then something is massively flawed. Sorry, it sounds like World War III is happening behind that wall, so excuse me to the viewers. But like, when you can start predicting winners, clearly something is not right, really not right. And what I find absolutely fucking hilarious is that when people sponsor certain categories, and then that sponsor walks away with the award. Like, oh, I didn't see this coming. This award is sponsored by me. And you're like, Are you serious? Like, we can see like the award is sponsored by blah blah blah, and then it like they win it, and you're like, do they think we're that thick as shit that we don't notice that? But then what do? You can't do anything. You can't flip the table and throw a hissy fit, because obviously we all want to do that, but it's just ridiculous. And I feel like it just needs to be burnt to the ground and then restructured back up again.
What do you guys think will be one solution or one of the solutions that could fix that?
Go on then, Layla. Give us a couple of solutions.
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this yet, or but we are planning. I am organising an event this year.
Nice.
We are going to do a live competition. I've done this a few years ago, but it wasn't judged. Well, it was judged live, and it was all streamed on YouTube, and it was just a little fun thing we done. But this year we're doing a live competition, so you've got to show healed work as well as your live treatment. We're taking into account skin type and everything. There's no it's all the photo editing. I think I see so many edited photos, you don't even know what's real anymore. So tattoo live, you're going to be judged live. We're going to have at least 3 judges per category. I just really want it to be like raw and come and actually show your skill in person.
Like tattoo industry do it, right? They bring their own models, live work, and that's how they.
Do you think that having an event, it's necessary to have competitions and awards? Is that what brings in the heavy hitters?
That's a really good question.
Laughing it.
I mean, you have to monetize it somehow. I understand that these conferences are expensive. I've never put one on, so I don't know. But you have to monetize it somehow. So I get it, having vendors there, that makes sense. Bishop's been a vendor at some events, and it makes sense. But
I do think we're trying to keep our ticket price as low as possible for the reason I said earlier. I really want newer artists to be able to come, because for a new artist, if you paid £600, for instance, for a 2-day ticket, and the education that you would get for that £600 versus £1,200 for a 1-day masterclass with one person, like the value is incredible.
Yeah.
But I want to get the people there that actually are really going to benefit from it.
But Leah, at the events that you go to, do you see more of young people coming in, or more of those that already been in the industry for a couple of years? Like, what's the percentage average?
The ones that I attend, I would say more people that have been in the industry for quite a while.
Gotcha. And you see that every year raising up, or is it?
Probably more, yeah. And just going on what Paul said about the whole, it's all for the gram and it's all very showy. I speak to a lot of artists inside our membership, and they really want to go, but they're put off, or they're too nervous to go, or they feel like it's out of their depth. Or like it might be cliquey, or they might not fit in. So this is what I'm trying to get around with our event. Is I don't want it to be showy and flashy. It's like, come to learn. We're all in the same boat. Everyone's going to be friendly, and it's just going to be there to actually serve a purpose rather than worrying about content.
I think we should just eliminate awards overall. Like, we don't need awards, right? Because it's.
I do.
Oh, I will get scored.
No, I don't.
I don't think my shelf can hold many more.
Oh, God.
Paul was going to donate one for you.
I'm making myself out of paper mache.
Oh, they're beautiful.
You know what, right? You can now just buy them. I get emails every bloody week from companies saying, "Oh, you've just won Best PMU Artist." Sorry, what? But now you've got to pay £200 for the piece of glass. No, thank you.
You can send them to me. Send them to me. I'll gladly put them up on my wall. Gladly.
That's really cheeky. Like, what a little scammy thing for your ego.
Yes, the other day I had one for the best Scottish artist. I'm not even in Scotland. At least have a look there.
I love that.
You should have.
What's your SEO? We need to know your SEO, because you get advertised everywhere.
Wow.
Well, that's crazy, and I love that, because you what you're doing there, Layla, you're not thinking about the gram. You're thinking of like the techniques, and people can see that and see, like, you know, if there's, I don't know what your event's like, and plug away and tell us a bit more if you want to. But if people can watch these being done as well, like, that's value in itself as well. So it's more like you're looking at the educational side. There's an argument to say as well, like, you know, have you guys ever experienced that someone who might not be as popular in the industry that we come from set up an event just to get some eyes on them?
That's it.
Have you come across that, Layla?
Yep. I don't want to mention no names.
No, you don't have to. But I find it interesting how...
Or there's people that don't even really have a fucking clue about PMU setting up PMU events. You think like, yeah. And again, it comes down to people see it as an opportunity to earn money. But I think if you do it well and you genuinely care about the industry, you actually aren't really making money from it at all.
Yeah, yeah. One thing, there's been a new development, because like even at MP UK, like they would reach out to me and go, demonstrating. I used to demonstrate at that event quite a few times, and I always had my ticket, and I always had my travel paid for, and my hotel was paid for, and I was demonstrating. And someone sent me an email the other day saying, "Hey, we'd love you to demonstrate at our conference." I was like, "Cool." Me naively thinking that I'm going to go there for free because it's going to be paid. Oh no, I had to pay, I think it was £600. So they wanted £600 from me to do work to show it off to people.
Hey,
I'm like, what?
I have a good idea, Paul. My car needs work. Okay, I'm gonna have you pay me to fix my car. Could you do that for me? Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
So, and I was just like, this is the climate we're in now. People are so desperate for content because we live in a social media matrix, that people just go, yeah, because if people can see pictures being taken of me doing my work, then they're going to think I'm the bee's knees. But when actually you've not even been asked there for your credentials, you're probably a one person of a mass email who's a quick bite the chance while you get it.
Yeah.
And it's just become this really superficial level now where you just fork out money so you look decent on Instagram, and you're not going to get much photography from it. So you have to pay for your own videographer to follow you. So that's more of an expense. And it's just come to this point now where no one's getting anything apart from the event holders.
Yeah.
Soon you have to put your own award together. You have to glue it and create it so it's made.
That on the head is, I agree with what you're saying 100%. But also, if you spin that, what the events are selling it to us as is marketing. How much would you pay for ads, or how much would you pay on marketing to get in front of your ideal client or audience? That's what they're selling it to us as. But I do get that. But I do still think you should be compensated. But it is marketing, whether it's content or not. It's especially if you're an educator. Like, I've done demos at conferences, and then I have got students from that conference. After watching me demo, they've then come and booked on a masterclass with me. So I think it does spin a little bit.
Yeah. So
David, we attended PMU conference this year. Yeah, it was last year. Sorry.
Yeah.
In August. So that was my first one, PMU, and it was very interesting because there was a lot of workshops and a lot of new people coming into those workshops for Scalp Micro Pigmentation, which I think that's what we should do, or someone that's hosting SMP should probably have more workshop hands-on classes that in those 2 or 3 days, whatever it is, instead of just sitting and drinking at the table.
But that's fun.
That is good still. That is fun still, though.
Yeah.
It is.
A lot of PMU conferences now do live demos. A lot of them have like a demo zone where you're free to walk around to who you want to watch.
So
What was you going to say, Dave?
It seems like most of these are set up if you plan on bringing in these new artists and teaching them. So selling training modules and stuff like that, right? So it's not for customers. I'm not going there to pitch my stuff to try to get people so I can do SMP on them. It's for new customers. And I don't with the SMP industry, Mike and Paul and I, Layla, have already discussed it. Unless you're going to train somebody, you shouldn't do these quick trainings. You got to do longer stuff. So having people watch what we do to now become our future students is going to be tough because we're trying to battle up against these quick, in and out trainings. They're not going to be interested because, we require way more.
Yeah, same as me. I stopped my beginner courses. I'll only do 6-month mentorship, so the minimum I'll do for a beginner. Same reason. You can't learn it in 4 days. You just can't.
You see why I asked Layla to come on the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're going to replace you, Layla, with Paul. Paul, sorry, you're out. Layla, you're on.
I can go on vacation. So that's interesting in the sense that is it worth your time as an artist who looks at the lineup and sees no value in what anybody's talking about because it's all autobiography? And then you say to yourself, I don't have a training academy. So even if I do go there, then I've got no potential, get people to come and part of the training academy. So there's a huge kind of void there about what do you do with to spark the interest of established artists. If you want big names to go to these events, what is going to be the pull for you to go? Because I don't have no training. I don't really want to be on stage because I don't want to talk about how great I am. And then someone goes, can I train with you? Nope. because it's just kind of pointless. It's like, there's no point in me going and saying, well, this is how amazing I am and this I am. Because then if I've got no training academy, I'm just flexing for the sake of flexing to hope to get some credibility or something, whatever. I don't know what the comeback would be. But if I had a training academy, I'd be up there straight away because, I learn this technique and learn this from me because then I have an agenda to sell that. So did any of you guys have an opinion of how you could get people who are like-minded like us to attend these events? What would you say is missing?
I think there's more students coming in or young artists coming in. Let's say if someone pitches it to those people instead of us as practitioners. So if there's going to be 100 new people coming in, that's something you'll be able to obviously do, right? And you're more willing to go to educate those people, correct? Knowing that it's going to be the same group of people every year, you don't need to go for those, right? But if it's going to be maybe 100 new people coming in and willing to learn from the best, then you're more interested in going, correct?
So I was saying, Mike, so say for Mike, if you have no training academy, right, and you look up the lineup with all the guest speakers and it's just, like I said, autobiographies. So how could that event get you to go, to make you go, oh, that sounds good? What would have to sound good to you to go, shit, I need to get a ticket now?
If we're getting paid for showing up.
Yeah, so that means nothing except hanging out with your mates.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out is I feel that the reason why I go is to connect with mates who I've not seen. But then I had someone reach out to me when a big event was going on and go, why don't we just save our money and rent an Airbnb and just host parties every night? Right. And I was like, damn, that's a fucking great idea because we would just get everybody to be there. Do you know what I mean? Not to sabotage the event, but we just, that's what we were going for. So I don't go to events to really get anything from it. I don't. At Meeting of Minds, Matt and Keith's subject about marketing, I found very interesting because they're very good at marketing. But everything else just felt a bit self-indulgent. So there is a gap there. Maybe Layla, you might have the secret. Is how would you get people who are very much similar to us to attend these events and get value? Do you think it's more education, focusing on techniques? What's different?
Yeah, from listening to you guys, I feel like you have no education at SMP conferences. You know, that's what you need. Demos.
Technically.
I'm going to get people, you know, like if younger SMP artists see you three were demoing, they're going to buy a ticket and go. And then, I know you don't teach, Paul, but if you taught, then you as a demo artist, you've got your bonus there by getting a load of new students through the door.
Yeah.
The host should be marketing better, right? Should be reaching out to the people that are not SMP industry yet, but maybe interested, instead of pitching to the OGs or the practitioners or artists that have been in this industry for such a long time. I mean, market it to the people that have heard of SMP but don't know what it is, and attend those conferences.
Like a bit of an introductory to SMP event, so people that are thinking about training in it could come and learn more about it. They could watch a few things. You've got a different audience there.
Layla, what are
you're going to run away with this idea? I like it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to think. What are your plans? When is your event, Layla? And what is it? Why don't you plug it?
Yeah.
Well, I actually said last year I'm done. I'm not doing no more. I don't like the way they're run. I don't want to be involved in them anymore. That was it. I was at. And then someone came to me and landed this on my lap and was like, would you help me and would you be involved? And it just aligned with everything that I believed in. So I've got myself into another one. So it's September this year. We're looking at Midlands area. Location should be confirmed this week. It's the Queen's Night. I don't know if you've heard of them. It's an Italian event. They are going nationwide. Like all different countries are hosting them. But one thing I find with our conferences is it's everyone just talking at you, right? As an attendee, you zone out, you get bored, people start walking out. This one is the day one is a masterclass, so it's more hands-on. So as an attendee, you will listen, watch, you'll do mat work, and the trainer's going to be feedbacking your mat work and actually giving you guidance, which I love. So we're going to have 3 trainers that day. And then day 2 is the live competition, cutting out all of the crap, live competition. And in the other room, for anyone that's not competing, we'll have live demos going on as well.
That sounds amazing.
You don't have to be at the gala. You know, if you come and do a live competition and you don't want to come to the gala, you don't have to be there to get your award. I really just want to, I don't even know the word, but
you don't know bullshit.
I want newer artists that are not in the limelight to be recognised for their work without having to pay a fortune, without having to go to the big gala if they don't want to. And I want attendees to come and actually learn and actually get feedback. And actually go away with these key takeaways where, do you know what? That weekend has been bloody worth it and I've learned so much.
Yeah.
There has to be it seems like what you're saying, there has to be a takeaway from this. There has to be value for people to go. There has to be on everybody's sake, on the presenters and on the attendees. It has to be value.
The 3 people that we've got on the masterclass day, we are not asking them to pay us, and we are compensating them, and we will pay travel.
That is great.
There you fucking go, man. Old school.
But because them 3 people are going to sell our tickets, really, aren't they? Yeah. Why should they pay us and we take the ticket money? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
This is going to set a new standard, I think. I hope.
Yeah. Well, this is the part of it. We don't use our voices now. It just keeps on going the way. So we got to go against the grain a little bit. I was going to ask you guys, how do you feel about this? Do you feel event holders or event whatever holders, should be really going along with good ethics? And what I mean by that is, should event holders be giving people who do 1-day training, 2-day training, 3-day training, whatever, a platform to sell something what's not allowed and not ethically right and can't be achieved? Do you feel like there should be some kind of responsibility to event holders to keep a new ethic? What do you guys think?
Yeah,
definitely.
Regulations. Yeah.
because sometimes what you're saying, Layla.
So since I pulled my beginner courses and I again publicly said to everybody, you need to stop these short courses. They're ruining the industry. They're ruining people's faces. But again, have a little bit of ethics if you're going to teach. Mm-hmm. It's been really nice. These last sort of 6 months, I've seen more and more trainers now starting to lengthen courses and introduce longer training programs. So I feel like it just takes a few people to stand up and just say it how it is, and people will start taking note. And then you'll see the greedy trainers that don't give a shit because they'll carry on with their 1-2 day courses.
Yeah, you can't get rid of them is what you're saying. And that's what we're here for. And I'm so glad, Paul, I'm so glad you introduced us to Layla, because she has exactly thinking the way we think. And and I'm not saying everybody should think the way we think, but we're thinking it's ethical. And it's the way
I think a lot of people think the same way we think, but they're afraid to speak up.
That's what it is as
well. So hopefully we can bring more people on the board. Break up.
You care about what you're doing. Like, you can't be in this industry for money. You're tattooing somebody. Like, you have to care.
Yeah.
And you guys probably won't know this from across the pond, but Layla here made national TV today. Was it today, this morning? Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what happened there? I'm plugging you.
The BBC reached out to me, BBC News, talking about cosmetic tattooing and industry standards, what can go wrong if you don't research your artist. So I got the negative part of showing lots of bad work and lots of corrections and removals that we've done. Just trying to raise a bit of awareness to the public to actually research your artist, which I think is a good thing. It's nice to see we're finally getting noticed.
Congrats.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
See, you gotta be a badass. And sometimes you just gotta go, enough's enough, and you might lose friends, you might lose potential sponsorships, but you know, at the end of the day, if you believe in what you're saying and it sounds crystal clear and ethically to us, then you can't really lose, can you really? Because you're doing what you believe is right.
If you were about this skin color and your shadow looked like that, you just pick a number 6. If you were a little bit darker and your shadow color is this, you said, oh, you pick a number 4. It's pretty simple, you don't have to mix or anything.
What that does is forcing your hand to go more irregular. So you're not following the line. Because sometimes you can get tunnel vision, and when you follow a clean line and you wipe it off, all your impressions finish on the same level.
Into the skin, as it comes out, the skin wipes it clean, okay? But the ink isn't deposited until the needle comes out of the skin, which creates a vacuum and it pulls it in.
Bring back SMP how it used to be, the right training, the proper training, and it's all for the clients. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to show everyone. We're not going to be charging thousands and thousands of dollars. We want to make sure that people can afford it and learn as well.
So I was going to ask you guys as well. So if we could create an event right now, right? Let's go around our little squares of knowledge. Dave, I'm going to start with you. What would be something what you like to bring to an event, what you feel would be just and ethical?
If I were to, I don't know if you're saying to put on an event or what would I like to see at the next event.
See more of, yeah.
I kind of.
What if we could create an event?
Okay, create an event.
Yeah, what would you add to it? What would you like? What you'd feel?
It's beneficial, right? Yeah.
Oh gosh. I definitely would know. You obviously want to have all-stars. You want people that are going to attract attendees, and I would take care of those people, whether it's, discounted tickets, free travel, free hotel stay. I know that gets expensive, but like Layla said earlier, those are the people that are selling your tickets. You know, like I go to a football game because I want to see my favorite football players play. They're selling the tickets. So I would take care of my all-stars that are going to be presenting and demonstrating and talking. Then I would make sure that the content that they're giving out to the attendees has value. And these are the things that are going to be sustainable. These are going to make people want to come back to the next event next year. The ones that I've been to, I don't see what's going to be different from the previous year. So it makes me not want to go back. I want to go back, but why would I? So I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's good.
Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I would say something similar. Yeah, if you're inviting someone that's been in this industry, someone that has a proper structure of training, correct? You don't want someone that's going to be marketing and advertising 1-2 day training where they did finish their training 2 years or 3 years ago. And I would say I would want to see more hands-on, more workshops in those events, and bring more young students in, to learn in those couple of days, just the intro to scalp micro pigmentation, get their interest, and get rid of awards. Fuck them. You don't need them. You know, you can't name the best tattoo artists in the world because there isn't one. Everyone's good at what they do. You know, they got their own style, but get rid of the awards. We don't need them.
Who's
Yeah,
next?
I agree. Same. And one other little thing, I think if you're going to run awards every year, you need different lineups because PMU awards, it's the same people at every conference. So once you've been to one, you don't need to keep going and watch the same thing.
Yeah.
Or one more thing I would ask, like Layla said, bring your live client, that travels with you that event. So whoever wants to, enter into the winning, an award, you got to bring in your model, your best work that day. So nothing's Photoshop, nothing's filtered. It's there. It's real.
I would like, if you was going to do awards, because I feel like awards brings a lot of people in because they want it all looking sparkly on their shelf. I would like it for awards to actually mean something, like how it used to be back in the day, like a proper achievement. Like you've not brought your way in, you've not sponsored anything, you've not got your mates to vote for you, you've not got your best mate literally
didn't donate.
Yeah, like you've got to really jump through the hoops, and I would like there to be not judges who've got less experiences than the OGs. That makes no sense. Like it makes no sense. So you need people who are established artists who've been around the block a few times, have got the credentials to make them go, right, that's logical. They should be a judge because of X, Y, and Z. And then there's going to be, you got to jump through multiple judges. So you can't just jump through one and then it be all sabotage. And it should be a point scoring system. It should be based on healed results. You should specify how many sessions it took you to achieve this and why, and the feedback and a little bit of literature of what you did to do this treatment. So when you win that award, you're like, fuck yeah, I jumped through the hoops there.
Almost like a testimonial.
I pressed 6
video,
OGs.
right? Almost like a testimonial video of a client, the whole process. I think that would be the best thing to enter instead of photos. The whole video testimonial of a client and how he felt before and after as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100%. And then just kind of, that's what I would like, and more value to the event as well.
I also think that because I've attended as a vendor, because there are new products that come up, and we should all have the ability to go and browse and talk to these vendors and see what they have to offer. I see the tattoo conventions. There's new products that come up. There's new needles. There's new aftercare products. It's nice to see that. And I think the hosts of these events should give proper time and proper encouragement for their attendees. Hey, go visit our vendors. These guys have some amazing products you guys should try out.
Yeah. That's a brilliant idea, because you can only squeeze it in and when you're grabbing a cup of coffee.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And it shouldn't be that. And then you sacrifice the time, what you should be in the event to browse, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and it should be like you said, to browse new things, maybe have like marketing agencies there who can help you boost your profile,
everything,
social media, you know, CRM like systems, everything, just to go, right, if you're a newbie, you've got all that in one room to build your business.
That's what we're doing. Sorry, at the Queen's Night, we're doing a business brunch on day 2.
Good for you.
See, Paul, it's already.
Badass.
She hasn't told you that I'm sponsoring it. I'm only joking. I'm not sponsoring shit.
As he backs up and
I
shows
can't
his
come on a
legend shit.
podcast about being ethical and then do the complete polar opposite.
Oh, it's fine.
Hidden in plain sight. That's how I move around this way. So is there anything you guys like to add to before we kind of close on this episode, which I think has been epic? Absolutely loved it. Is there anything you want to add, Layla?
Thank you, Layla. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. And hopefully we have some other organisers listening and paying attention, and we might see a bit of an improvement in it all round moving forward.
Yeah, love
and
that.
if you guys have any questions, we'll have Layla's contact as well. If you want to ask her any questions, it'll be on our podcast as well, correct?
Layla, why don't you tell us where we can find you? What's your website and socials, all that stuff?
Yeah, so socials, my clinic page is at Layla Hinchen, or education I tend to do at the PMU Circle. That's our online membership for artists. Website laylahinchen.com, Facebook Layla Hinchen, very straightforward.
Layla what? It's even behind your head.
It's even behind your head. It's brilliant. Yeah, we're gonna have it, you know, on the bio, so everything will be good. You know, this was great. I don't know if we're gonna piss anybody off, but that's kind of not our intention. But sometimes it's gonna happen. But this is what we feel like we have to do. We're gonna try to keep it as real as possible. Maybe lose some friends, but I know right now that we have 3, if not 4 viewers to our podcast. Hopefully we'll get more, because we got 4 guys that are definitely watching this all the time. So we encourage more of the audience to listen and comment. We want to kind of keep our industry great, PMU and SMP. And I feel like this is the way we can do it. So thank you, Layla. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And until next time, Layla, we end up our No Bullshit podcast with, I taught these guys how to say bullshit in sign language. So this is the bull and this is the shit. So we do this every time. So we don't want any bullshit. So can you please join us? These are the horns. Yeah, there you go. Bullshit.
Bullshit.
So, there you go. You did it. There you go. Right. Layla, once again, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
Next one.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.